It's time for all the news you need and more. Brooklyn is Live starts right now.
Good day, good to be with you on a busy day of news. I'm Jackson Mitchell. It's Thursday, April 16th, 2:02 here in Brooklyn, 12:02 on the West Coast, and 3:02 on the East. We're starting with the latest developments here that we were just getting in. President Trump taking to Truth Social to announce just moments ago that Israel and Lebanon have reached a ceasefire. This is the new details coming into us. Again, just moments ago, I want to bring you that Truth Social post where President Donald Trump here, and I'll read it in its entirety. He responds to a post, but we're going to read the bottom post here first. He says, quote, I just had excellent conversations with the highly respected President Joseph Aoun of Lebanon and Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu of Israel. These two leaders have agreed that in order to achieve peace between their countries, they will formally begin a 10-day ceasefire at 5 p.m. Eastern, so that is 4 p.m. today. Now, on Tuesday, the two countries met for the first time in 34 years here in Washington, D.C., with our great Secretary of State Marco Rubio. I have directed Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, together with the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Raisin Kane, to work with Israel and Lebanon to achieve a lasting peace. It has been my honor to solve 9 wars across the world, and this will be my 10th, so let's get it done. President Donald J. Trump, he then would later respond to that post an hour after saying, quote, in addition to the statement just issued, I will be inviting Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, and the President of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun, to the White House for the first meaningful talks between Israel and Lebanon since 1983, a very long time ago. Both sides want to see peace, and I believe that will happen quickly. President Donald J. Trump. So that is the Truth Social post from the president. One moment here. Sorry, we're doing the news as it happens here. So it's, again, this news just coming into us. Hezbollah, which we brought to you, kind of all these new details. Hezbollah, which is the militant group that has been, obviously operates in Lebanon, is now has not reacted to this news from President Donald Trump. So again, this is just coming into us a few moments ago. Now, to note, since about 1978, these countries, 1977, these countries have been at war. So we'll take you to our live shot there in Beirut, Lebanon. But again, these countries have been at war since really the founding of Israel. So to hear about this is some good news for peace between these two countries. Now, it will be a 10-day ceasefire, and it will go begin here at 4 p.m. today. Now, as reported earlier, Marco Rubio, he's leading those conversations. He has been doing this, and he actually spoke on Tuesday when the first round of conversations began. So I want to play that for you. This is Marco Rubio on Tuesday.
We understand we're working against decades of history and complexities that have led us to this unique moment. And the opportunity here, I know some of you are shouting questions about ceasefires. This is a lot more than just about that. This is about bringing a permanent end to 20 or 30 years of Hezbollah's influence in this part of the world, and not just the damage it's inflicted on Israel, the damage it's inflicted on the Lebanese people. That is the hope here today. That is what we are beginning to work. We are joined by excellent people who will be in a position to obviously take this back to their respective capitals. This is a process, not an event. This is more than just one day. This will take time, but we believe it is worth this endeavor, and it's a historic gathering that we hope to build on. And the hope today is that we can outline the framework upon which a permanent and lasting peace can be developed, so that, as I said, the people of Israel can live in peace, and the people of Lebanon can live not just in peace, but the prosperity and security that they deserve.
Marco Rubio there, continuing our live shot there in Beirut, Lebanon. Now, these countries, they have had previous ceasefires, and that has been something that has come to light. There was a 2024 agreement back in November. Now, according to reporting from the United Nations, they flagged thousands of violations within those ceasefire agreements. The most recent one that kind of did come apart was a 2006 Lebanon war ceasefire. A previous major ceasefire was implemented, calling for the disarmament of group of armed groups, and respect for territorial integrity. So we're also getting remarks from the Israeli ambassador to the United States here. He was speaking as well on Tuesday on where things stood. Here, let's take a listen to his remarks.
Talks began with a statement, very encouraging statement, Secretary of State Rubio. I was honored to sit around a negotiating table with His Excellency Michelle Issa, United States Ambassador to Lebanon, and to Her Excellency Nada Hamadi, the Lebanese Ambassador to Washington. We discovered today that we're on the same side of the equation, and that's the most positive thing we could have come away with. We are both united in liberating Lebanon from an occupation power dominated by Iran called Hezbollah. Lebanon is under their occupation, and we are suffering from their constant barrages of missiles and terror attacks trying to cross our border. We talked about a number of things, and most importantly, the vision, the long-term vision, where there'll be a clearly delineated border between our countries, and where the only reason we'll need to cross each other's territory will be in business suits to conduct business or in bathing suits to go on vacation. We made it very clear that the security of our civilians is not up for negotiation.
So there you go, the Israeli ambassador to the United States speaking to the press. Let's take you back to our live shot in Beirut, Lebanon. So again, a ceasefire just now reached about 2 hours ago in a Truth Social post by President Trump. That's the way it was announced. President Trump, before he departed to Vegas, as he's expected to make remarks later tonight on no tax on tips, did speak to the press. Want to play some of that video for you. He spoke for about 30 minutes or so. We're only going to play just a couple minutes of that and his reaction on this ceasefire reach. Take a listen here.
Mr. President, you spoke with Prime Minister Modi just a couple of days ago. What was the conversation like? What is it that is on the table now?
I had a very good talk with him, and he's a friend of mine from India, and he's doing great. We had a very good conversation.
Considering extending the ceasefire with Iran?
With who?
With Iran.
We're doing very well, I can tell you. Maybe it'll happen before that. I'm not sure it needs to be extended. Just so you know, Iran wants to make a deal, and we're dealing very nicely with them. We've got to have no nuclear weapons. If we do, that's a big factor. And they're willing to do things today that they weren't willing to do 2 months ago.
Do you have any news about Ukraine? Do you have any news regarding peace in Ukraine?
Hezbollah stick to the ceasefire. Are you confident about that?
I think they will. I think it's going to be, actually it's very exciting because it's 48 years. We're going to be meeting with Bibi Netanyahu, as you know, and the president of Lebanon. And I had a great talk with both of them today. They're going to be having a ceasefire, and that'll include Hezbollah. And I think it could be number 10 for me.
Mr. President, do you have any news regarding peace in Ukraine? Do you have any news regarding peace in Ukraine?
Ukraine is moving along. I wish they could get along, frankly. A lot of people are dying in Ukraine. We'll see what happens. There's things happening there. We're focused so much right now on Iran, seeing if we can get that completed. And I think we're going to be able to. And I think if you look, the stock market is good. The oil prices are coming down, and it's looking very good that we're going to make a deal with Iran, and it's going to be a good deal. It's going to be a deal with no nuclear weapons.
When is the next in-person round of negotiations on the war in Iran? When will
They're
that
all
take place?
important. I mean, it's not a question of around. All of them are
When will
important.
the next in-person
Probably,
meeting take
maybe
place?
over the weekend.
Will you send the Vice President? Mr. President, will you send the Vice
Just so you
President?
understand, the blockade has been incredible. It's held. They're not doing any business. They're unable to do any business because of the blockade. And so the combination of having no Navy, having no Air Force, having no anti-aircraft equipment, they have nothing. Everything is gone, including their leaders. Now they have a new set of leaders, and we find them very reasonable.
And then on the 20-year minimum to stop enriching uranium, would you?
Well, we haven't agreed to any. We haven't agreed to any.
To you, sir, if that's the final sticking point.
What we have is we have a statement, very powerful statement, that they will not have beyond 20 years. That they will not have nuclear weapons. That's beyond. There's no 20-year limit.
Before you anyone interested, can you please give us more information on if they'll go against the weaponization?
I think that Todd Blanche is doing a very good job, from what I'm seeing. All I can say thus far, I think Todd Blanche is doing a very good job.
If there's no deal, would you be willing to extend the ceasefire, or will the fighting resume, Mr. President?
I would say the fighting. If there's no deal, fighting resume.
Okay. And then on gas prices, how much longer will Americans continue to see these high gas prices?
Well, they're not very high. If you look at what they were supposed to be in order to get rid of a nuclear weapon, with the danger that entails. So the gas prices have come down very much over the last 3-4 days. I know, you know, and that's what ABC says. But the fact is that if you look at the stock market's up, everything's doing really well. And the big thing we have to do is we have to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, because if they do, you want to talk about problems, you'd have problems. So very important is that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon, and they've agreed to that. Iran's agreed to that, and they've agreed to it very powerfully. They've agreed to give us back the nuclear dust that's way underground because of the attack we made with the B-2 bomber. So we have a lot of agreement with Iran, and I think something's going to happen very positive. Very complicated subject. It's I don't think we're waiting. I think we're moving very fast. It could happen pretty quickly.
Moments ago there, President Donald Trump taking questions before he headed to Vegas. Okay, so again, a ceasefire just moments ago, according to the president, reached between Israel and Lebanon that will go into effect today at 3 p.m. So at the end of our show.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation. And we have crossed the threshold, now entering the Earth's atmosphere.
So again, this video is going to be
400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second.
This video is going to be similar to how we've done it before, where sometimes they're talking, sometimes they're not, and we're going to kind of talk over it as if they're not, but we're going to keep listening and note to these key pieces.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
2 good drogue chutes. Next up,
we copy, we see them.
Next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out.
And I'll pause it here, because what I was watching, that I noticed here when I was watching this video, is you can see the ocean in the distance, yet as they are flying down, you would think they would hit the ocean quicker, but we still have 1 minute and 53 seconds left until we get to that
Time
point.
to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
You see it there, 3 minutes and 10 seconds until full splashdown. That just shows you how long this goes on, and even though you can see the ocean, they're yet so far away still, even as they travel upwards of 35,000
Perfect descent rate according to flight
miles.
On 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
Passing through 10,000 feet, still on drogues.
Closer and closer here as those parachutes continue to hang on as Artemis 2 makes their splashdown late Friday. And there we go.
Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet.
Landing is
Search and
soon for
recovery
those 3
beacon has been activated on integrity.
4 astronauts, excuse me, here.
And we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes.
Integrity splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown. Waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time.
Alrighty, there you go. That was splashdown. I believe in images released later, you're able to see the heat damage, and that was one of the things that we had actually talked about live on the air, is how one thing they had to perfect is on the re-entry to Earth, evenly distribute that heat, and I believe we played a CNN report for that. That might have been back on Friday. I want to play you now a recap that NASA has since released on this entire mission from beginning to end. Take a listen.
Taking their first steps outside for their historic test flight.
4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched.
Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy.
We are going for our families.
We are going for our teammates.
We are going for all humanity.
Engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon.
Houston Integrity, grade 2.
This is a test flight, and so every single system aboard Orion is getting tested by humans for the first time. That is Earth in the center of your screen from the Orion spacecraft, looking back at all of us.
Houston is go for TLI.
With this burn to the moon, we do not leave Earth. We choose it.
The 4 of us have looked at this moon our entire lives, and the way we are responding to what we are seeing out the window, it's just like we're a bunch of little kids up here. We cannot get enough of this.
That is something we have never seen before.
It's hard to wrap your mind around. I mean that sincerely. It really bends your mind.
As we prepare to go out of radio communication, to all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
Just seeing Tycho, there's mountains to the north. You can see Copernicus, Rainier Gamma. It's just everything from the training, but in 3 dimension and absolutely unbelievable.
Copy Moonjoy.
Superlative thumbs up.
We just went sci-fi.
I think there is enough for all. The purpose of humanity is joy and lifting one another up, creating together.
This is a whole bunch of nothing, this thing we call the universe. You have this oasis, this beautiful place that we get to exist together.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, after ignition, to me, the moment that I'm going to be most excited for is splashdown. There's no question about that. Good shoots coming down off the West Coast.
And there go the first series of parachutes.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drones out the window.
Main chute deployed.
We most importantly choose this moment to challenge this generation and in the next to make sure this record is not long-lived.
This is a relay race.
It takes an army to pull a mission together like this, right? Across all 10 of our centers, all of our commercial partners, the international partners that come together to make this possible. An incredible mission, that is one thing for sure, and a lot of history made there by Artemis 2 and NASA, and a great video by NASA's video team. Now, those astronauts did speak for the first time, not for the first time, I should say, after landing, but rather at a press conference since they landed. I want to play a few clips from it. Take a listen.
The human experience that is extraordinary for us, and it sounds like maybe for you too. And so I think I'll start with gratitude. Gratitude for my family, gratitude for NASA, for its leadership, gratitude for Canadian Space Agency, gratitude pour les Canadiens et les Canadiennes, et j'ai hâte de pouvoir revenir avec Reed, Christina, Victor, O Canada. Gratitude for the bravery and the courage for the teams to be no-go when we were no-go and go when we were go. That took a lot. And I don't think people will really ever fully comprehend how well supported and trained we were. It is almost unbelievable. All right, and as my daughter would say, I'll try and stay locked in here.
When we saw Tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth, it was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. Uh-oh. So, I may have not learned, I know I haven't learned, everything that this journey has yet to teach me. But there's one new thing I know, and that is, planet Earth, you are a crew. Thank you.
Wow, and that sure does deserve a round of applause. Planet Earth, you are a crew. Artemis 2, a mission lots of people will never forget. But look there at a press conference from just a few weeks ago that we carried a clip of, actually, on Eric Swalwell, as he is now, we're now learning he has suspended his campaign for governor of California. This comes as major allegations have emerged from a former staffer who accused him of rape, an allegation at this point he denies. Now, the reports led to a rapid collapse of his campaign, with staff resigning and major Democratic allies withdrawing their support. Authorities in New York and California are both now reviewing the allegations. We're also learning of additional women that have accused Swalwell of inappropriate behavior. Now, following his exit from the race, prominent Democrats and former staffers are calling him to resign from Congress as the governor's race now moves forward without him. We're also now learning the House of Representatives, where he currently serves, is now opened a probe into the investigations. Now, I want to play, this is the statement Swalwell released announcing that he would be suspending his campaign. Reading that last paragraph there, he says, quote, "I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not a campaign's." I want to play a video that Swalwell released on Instagram.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations. I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen. They have never happened. And I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past. But those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public. As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends. And I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support. And I look forward to updating you very soon.
Yeah, Eric Swalwell there responding to those major allegations made against him. Again, ending his campaign. Now the House of Representatives, where he serves a part of the state of California, now looking into those major allegations by a former staffer and other. In other headlines over the week.